Lawrence Lenaeapa, Mama Esther, Joanne and Paola, and your siblings, Reverend Father George, and the other parish priests, all governors here present, members of parliament, senators, members of the county assembly, the larger family of Lenaeapa, the big delegation from Laisami's constituency, and Marsabit County. God is good, and all the time. Nisalimieni kwa haya. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe tena. On behalf of President William Ruto and the government of the Republic of Kenya, to say goodbye to a distinguished public servant who have served this country with distinction and commitment. And the President has sent his condolences, and those of the government of the Republic of Kenya, to the family. And after my few remarks, I'll read his message of condolence and later present it to the family. I also come here in my private capacity to say goodbye to a family friend, a great man, a humble man, a very generous human being, a man with a big heart, a man who loves his family, who loves his community, who loves his country, and a very genuine friend. The late Lawrence Lenaeapa and I, and Governor Lusaka and others were here, Loitumaga and others. We met in the late 90s in course number 2 of 1990 at the Administration Police Training College, APTC, being young officers who had to undergo paramilitary course so that we are able to manage security and supervise the administration police officers under us. And during that 3-month course, we developed a good relationship that has gone on for 34 years. And we became brothers, we became good friends, we became confidants. And for those 34 years, Lawrence has been a genuine friend to many of us. And we really cherish the moments we have shared with him. Mama Esther here and these 2 young girls, I have seen them grow. Lenaeapa has eaten food in my house. I've eaten food here in Nanyuki. It is Nairobi House. We've been together our lives. And I want to say what has been said here, I bear witness. He was a very kind man, extremely kind. Many a times I went to his Nairobi house. It was full of the Rendile people. Throughout, you could not even get anywhere to sit. Wamejaa rumu zote, wengine wamelala kwa viti, wengine wamelala kwa mkeka. And food was flowing throughout. Nyama, soup, and that was his life. When I came here to Nanyuki, the same story. If there is a man in my life that I know who loved his community, it's Lawrence Lenaeapa, the man lying here. And Mama Joanne, I also want to thank you. I don't think it is easy for our ordinary wives to be able to host the Rendiles the way you did. You are a woman of a kind. You are a woman of a kind. Until I reached, I asked Lenaeapa, hii Rendile kwani ni nini? It's too much. They are everywhere. And he told me, my life starts and ends with my people. And this position I've been given, I hold it for the community. So whatever I have, I'll share with them. And that is the life he led. Many times, Jane Kagiri, Lenaeapa was a soft-spoken man, but very firm. Although we were age mates, since I had retired and left government, I was a businessman, and we were tight with him. He would call me and give me instructions. Wewe Geoffrey, kuja, leta 200. Iko Rendile hapa, iko hospital bill nini. I have paid hospital bills for the Rendile people. I have paid school fees for many years, and he will not give me a chance to say no. And I said, he never asked anything for himself. He'd always call me, I have this and that function, tafuta 1,300 ulete. Niko na waredio wamekwama hapa, nimemaliza nilikuwa naye, tafuta ulete. And it will never end. So I made it a habit, as long as Lawrence was in Nairobi, to have some money in the car. That was Lawrence Lenaeapa, a very kind man. And I wish and I pray that my people, the Kikuyu people, we can love our people the way Lawrence Lenaeapa loved these people. Sababu watu wetu saa ingine wanakata wengine miguu sana. Wakiona mtu napanda, wanataka kumleta nini? Chini. Lenaeapa taught me to love my people. He taught me. And I must say he's the one who taught me. I don't think I was that keen, but I learned from him. I want to say, as Controller of State House, the way it has been said here, it is true. Lenaeapa demystified the State House. And I'm very glad that Katole Bitito, our controller now, has followed suit. Na Katole ukanyangia hapo. Fungulia watu mlango. Fungulia watu mlango. Waone rais wao waongee na yeye. And he did not have discrimination. Anybody who wanted to see President Uhuru Kenyatta, he said, come. And if there was an opportunity, he'll make it possible and not fuss about it. Like it's a very big thing. And he spent many times in my house in Sagana. The Sagana State Lodge is next to my home. And anytime President Uhuru came down and he came with Lenaeapa, he would come to spend with me at the house. We'd meet, we talk, we discuss. And the whole conversation after talking about our journey in leadership, finally, it will end with Rendile and his 2 daughters. These two daughters, he talked about them even before I met them. By the time I met them, I knew everything about these 2 girls, Joanna and Paola. Your father loved you so much, and I trust you'll work very hard to keep his name high. I want to thank the siblings of my late friend, the leadership and the community from Marsabit. When I called Mama Joanne and I asked her what are the plans, I thought the funeral would be in Loyangalani. So I needed to know so that I start thinking the logistics, how do we get there, what do we do? She told me, it is my wish, if the elders and the siblings will agree, to bury Lenaeapa in Nanyuki to be near us because Lagayani is too far. And I did advise her to talk to them softly and request them. And when Paula came to see me, she told me the same. And later on, Mama Joanne told me that the siblings, the elders, and the community had agreed to allow the family to bury Lenaeapa in Nanyuki. I want to say thank you very much for honoring this woman and her children. because ordinarily, many people would have said no. You people of Marsabit are good people. And the way you have come here, we want to thank you. At least you have honored what the family wanted, to let their husband and father be near them. I want to say I came to Laisamis, somewhere, I think called Koru, somewhere, Kol or something. He called me there to build a church. But I never came to Loyangalani. We planned many times to come to Loyangalani. One thing would happen, another one, I never came. And the Reverend Father here from Loyangalani has told me when we were greeting each other that the late Lawrence had started a church there and we should come and complete it. And I want to say, since Lawrence wanted me to come to Loyangalani and he has gone before I come, I'll mobilize friends of Lawrence, will come to Loyangalani and finish that church that started. I have just told Governor Lenku, and I want to say the daughters of Leneapa and Mama Joanne, my home is your home, and you know. These are my daughters. If there is anything I can do for you, my gates, my doors, in my Nairobi home, in my rural home are open for you. You know my story and history with this great man. Please always come. Even if you have nothing, come and say hi to me, because our friendship with your father is very deep. And Leneapa was not a businessman and he was not a politician. Many times when he did development, Akina Lekuton sometimes would get a bit uncomfortable. Anakuja anajenga hapo, anasaidia. Normally siasa, sisi ukisikia mtu anakuja kwako unakuwa uncomfortable kidogo. But he was not interested in politics. Alikuwa anasaidia watu nyumbani from his heart. He was also not a businessman. So mimi ndio nilikuwa mfanyabiashara na mwanasiasa. So alinishika mkono kwa biashara. Huyu ndugu yangu amelala hapa. And whatever little that I own, huyu ndugu yangu, huyu amechangia kiasi kikubwa sana. Ken Lusaka knows. Hata ya Lusaka umechangia, lakini bado kiwango ya huyu. He introduced me to many people. I was telling Governor Lenku, when you are Minister for Security, Leneapa alileta kwako physically. Akakwambia huyu mtu ni mtu mzuri na ni muungwana. Patia ya kazi, auze bunduki hapa na viatu na nini, apata kitu ya kukula na akuwa akisaidia waredile. Lakini kabla unisaidie ukafukuzwa. Sasa since huyu alikwambia unisaidie, you must help me. Now that is over, you know. Si alileta kwako, akakwambia unichunge. Sasa now that he is gone, you must honor him by helping me. Lazima unisaidie pahali. So sisi tunataka kusema we have lost a great man. And you know, Leneapa would look at President Uhuru Kenyatta some time as a good controller would do. Find he is not in the best of moods, and then decide he needs to look for people who are close to him, who can come and have comic relief, laugh with him, ndio akae mzuri. So you look for me. He used to call me Geoffrey. Geoffrey, where are you? Kuja wewe uketi na hii mtu yako, naona ako juu kidogo ateremke. I'll come and sit with President Uhuru Kenyatta, tunapiga story nini. After 1-2 hours, Leneapa niambia sasa wacha mimi nimuitie ile watu ya maneno ngumu. So he was a very resourceful man. And even when President Uhuru appointed him as State House Controller, nikamwambia Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, wewe umepata mfanyikazi. Because watu wanasemanga mtu amepata kazi na kazi imepata mtu. Nikamwambia kazi yako imepata mtu. And for sure he did not disappoint. And he helped to stabilize the presidency during Uhuru's first term, when the presidency was very intact. This man, as the accounting officer for both President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, he kept the presidency together. Na tunamshukuru sana. Ndio nimalizie Jane Kagiri. Lawrence aliniambia nikusaidie. Lakini hakuwa ameniambia nikusaidie bure, alikuwa ameniambia nikukopeshe utanilipa siku moja. Sasa that the only witness is gone, ukuwe muungwana. Ukipata kitu unirudishie ile nilikupatia ufanye siasa yako. I was called Geoffrey, and it's good that I explained. Lusaka still calls me Geoffrey. Lawrence has died akinita Geoffrey. I was Geoffrey Gachagua. I was an administrator. Mtu ya kutoa amri, mtu ya kusukuma, mtu ya kukanyanga. So when I decided now to go to the other side ya kutetea watu, nikaona niwachane na hiyo jina, because hawezi pelekana na ile kazi mpya ya kutetea watu. So nikafanya transition from Geoffrey Gachagua to Rigathi Gachagua. But Lawrence, hata kama nilibadilisha, he has called me Geoffrey. So finally, I think afande Rugut. Sasa unajua hii kazi ni ya kubadilishana. Wewe ulikuwa mkubwa yetu. Sasa mimi ni mkubwa yako. Hii watu yote inakuwaga namna hiyo. I think PC, tafadhali, can you put our team together tuketi tukunywe chai? You know, because let us not be meeting in occasions like this one. You know, call Lotumaga, look for all of us coordinators. Mimi naona wewe nao kwa group yetu, you are the senior most, isn't it, Ken? I think Jasper is the senior most. So si atupange atutafute. Please put our team together. That team we work together from wakati ya Moi tumehangaika hapo, uniambie, then utuweke pamoja tujuliane hali. We catch up and revisit the good old days, because they were good days, so that we don't have to meet when we have lost a colleague like we have met today. So Mama Joanne and your two daughters, you have our support, you are in our prayers, and you know how tight we are as families. When Lawrence was posted to Netherlands and he had to live with his wife, my wife, Pastor Dorcas, took over the work of looking after these two daughters. Because they were young girls, they are teenagers, they need a mother figure around them. She's the one who would go to visit them, find out how they are doing, and come and tell me and tell Lawrence. Even when my wife traveled to Netherlands, when Lawrence was ambassador, and she had booked a hotel to stay, Lawrence could not hear of it. He said, how can your wife, our friend, stay in a hotel when our home? And insisted she must go and live at the residence of the ambassador. So this is a big family that we have come together and will stay together. Father George, I'm so happy to meet you here. Again, you used to serve in Gekubo Parish. We were together, we were good friends. And nimefurahi sana kusikia umekuja hapa. So vile ulikuwa unaniita zamani kukula nyama hapo Gekumbo, I still eat meat. Uniite hapa nikuje ututengenezee nyama. You know these reverend fathers, if you don't know, wanaishi vizuri sana. If there is one thing about the Catholic Church, the reverend fathers pahali wanaketi wanakula vizuri. So mimi, when I was a member of parliament, I made it my business to help them to build good houses on condition that when I'm around that area, ninakula lunch hapo kwa father. Because ile mayai yote inaletwa, ile vitu yote inaletwa hapa mzuri mzuri, inaenda hapo kwa father. And it is good to look after our men and women of God, isn't it? So tumeshukuru sana. Maybe ndio nisome Sara ya Rais. Pastor Dorcas, I think, come and say something. These are your daughters.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and all protocols observed. Ma'am, we've been with you and we have walked this journey. One thing I can say, you are very strong together with your daughters. I remember Paula the other day, I told you, when you want to remember your dad, don't think he's dead. Remember when he was alive and how he used to joke. And you will laugh and that will ease. I know it is very hard, Joan. And do not beat yourself because you are not there when Dad went to be with the Lord. You did everything that was possible. I saw you, and many times you called me, and as we went there, I remember the last time when Mom called me and said, you know, he's gone the first time. And then, by God's grace, he came back. In fact, she told me, you know, my sister, he's gone, he's gone. I said, no, let's not talk about him being gone, let us pray. So we prayed. Then she called and said, he's back. And that was our brother here, one man of strength. When I went, as His Excellency has said, I went to Netherlands. I stayed there, and he was the best brother you could have. Whenever I was going out, he gave me his Mercedes S500. And then he didn't have another car, so he would go by an Uber or something. And I was asking him, why do you give me your car? And you know you are the ambassador. I said, no, you know Geoffrey. And Geoffrey is my brother. And you are my sister. And that's how it was. Let me say this. God will be with you. I also will pray with you. I will continue to support you. And we walk together. I feel very sad myself. I will not say I'm celebrating because it will be a lie to say I'm celebrating because I loved him like a brother to me. And because they were very close with my husband, I feel the grief, but at the same time, I'm joyful to know he is with the Lord. And therefore, my dear sister Esther, Joan, and Paula, I can see you are remembering something, you can laugh now. It is the same thing that I ask for even our daughter here, that all these things, together with the extended families, just remember what our brother did. And it is said, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord, because after that, their deeds follow them. And we're talking about his deeds? Yes, we are, because he will live in his works and he will continue to live on. I lost my father when I was very young, and I can tell you he has never gone anywhere. Anytime I am in need of a father, I always remember his laughter and what he used to say. God bless you, and I know it shall be well with you. Thank you.
Asante sana. So, Mheshimiwa Lepton, you will tell me kama kuna watoto hapo Warendile, huyu ndugu yetu alikuwa anasomesha na mungetaka nisaidie, because his life revolved around those children. I'll be quite happy to help, because in his memory, kama there were some children he alikuwa ameanzisha, hatungetaka wawache kusoma, nitasaidia. Condolence message from His Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of Kenya Defense Forces, to the family and friends of the late Ambassador Lawrence Lenaeapa. We have lost a gentleman who was hard-working and cause-driven, Ambassador Lawrence Lenaeapa was a dedicated public servant who served our country with zeal and focus. As a diplomat, he proudly built and maintained Kenya's strong ties with foreign nations. Despite his great accomplishments, Ambassador Lawrence Lenaeapa lived a quiet and humble life, a lesson to all of us. His service to the community will forever guide, shape, and influence many generations. We honor the great life that Ambassador Lenaeapa led and rich memories that he lives with us. May we draw comfort from the word of Lord in the Philippians 4, chapter 4, verse 13. And I quote, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength," close quotes. Rest in peace, Lawrence. Signed, William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. Kwa hivyo watu ya Marsabit, tumeshukuru sana vile mmekuja. Mkirudi msalimie watu ya Marsabit. Tulikuwa na governor juzi na wajumbe, kuna kazi tumepanga. Tutakuja huko na rais kwa mambo ya maendeleo, na mimi mwenyewe nitakuja kwa kazi zingine, na sana hiyo kanisa ya Loyangalani. Mheshimiwa Likoton, utusaidie upangane na father, upange, just arrange, na tusitikae sana. In the memory of this great man, nitatafuta marafiki na rais na kila mtu, tukuje tujenge hilo kanisa, so that since he has been buried here now, watu ya huko wasimsahau, si ndio? Tujenge hiyo kanisa, hiyo tutakuja tufanye. Kwa hivyo wale wote wamekuja kwa niaba ya hii familia, because I consider myself to be part of this family. Tunasema asante sana. And the gap that has been left ni kubwa, lakini tutajikakamua na familia, tutaendelea kumwombea, tutakuwa pamoja na tutaendelea kusaidiana. May God bless you and bless you abundantly. Asanteni sana.
Hivyo basi niweze kurudisha kipaza sauti kwa mwelekezi wa kanisa, Baba Askofu